Hello, today begins with the new topic Class 8 Science, Chapter 1st Crop Production and Management. Here we already studied preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers. Now, today's topic I will teach here is irrigation. Irrigation, our topic. Now, see, this is for irrigation. First of all, what is irrigation? The process of supplying water to crop plants. Suppose here is a field and a same type of plant growing in the field, that is called crop, and there is need to supplying water to the crop for its well growth. Irrigation means to supplying the water to the crops which is cultivated in the field is called irrigation. So the process of supplying water to crop plants in the field called irrigation. In Hindi it is called sichai. Why irrigation necessary? Because irrigations provide softness to the soil while we plowing the field. The soil becomes soft and it is easier in plowing. The second benefits is it helps to provide the moisture to the soil, and this moisture helps in the germination of soil. That's why a seed grow easily. The next benefit of the soil is it also maintain moisture or humidity in the soil to keep crop healthy, and it gives good yielding crop. Irrigation also provide necessary environment for the absorption of nutrient elements which is required for a plant crop to grow, because nutrients dissolve in water which is present in soil, and a solution of nutrients easily absorbed by the roots of the roots of the growing plants, and the growing plants easily receives soluble nutrients, and they utilize these nutrients for their growth. Water supplied to the crops during irrigation, it protects the crop plants from hot air currents. In summer season, the surrounding air to the field is very hot and it may harm to a plant crops. So, if we irrigate the field, it absorbs the hot air in water and maintain the surrounding environment humidity, which is essential for the growing crop. The next is factors affecting irrigation, means what are the factors which affect or may change the irrigation which requirements for any growing crops. Some factors on which irrigation is depend, for example, what type of crop you want to cultivate in the field, and that is called nature of crop, and what is the nature of soil, either it is a sandy soil, loamy soil, or black soil. What type of soil is, because different type of soils have different carrying capacity of water. So nature of the soil also depends a crucial factor for the irrigation of a field. The third factor is season. If you need to irrigate a field, first of all, it depends upon the in which season you want to irrigate the plant crops. In winter season, there is lesser requirement of water to a plant crops in comparison to the summer season. That's why the season is also an important factor which affect the irrigation requirements for a cultivation crop. For example, if we study in nature of the crop, if we grow a paddy crop like rice crop, means rice crop, there is required a lot amount of water in the field to grow the paddy crop plants, whereas other crops like gram, wheat, and cotton, they do not require so much water. So nature of the crop is also an important factor. Irrigation, see this figure. Irrigation purpose, we use canal due to the better water retaining capacity of the soil, also responsible for cultivation of crop plants. The crop cultivated in clay soil need irrigation less frequently because clay soil having more water carrying capacity in comparison to the sandy soil and other type of soil. In summer season, there is frequently irrigate the crops because hot air currents are blow in or during the summer season. What are the sources of irrigation? There are some sources like river, canals, wells, two wells, dams, ponds, and lakes by which we can irrigate a field easily. some of the traditional methods and modern methods we use for the irrigation of crop plants. Here, the various, or we can say four methods described in your syllabus as a traditional methods for irrigation. The first one is mode. It is also called pulley system. It works like a pulley system. That's why it is called a pulley system method. And the second method is chain pump method. Third one is dhekli, and the last and important method is rahat system, or we can say lever system. In more system of irrigation, first of all, see this figure. A person standing near the well and an ox is used which is tied up to the rope. Here is a pulley system. Another portion of the rope is tied with a container. The water is taken out from the well with the help of the buffalo or camel. The water is drawn out from a well using a big container which is tied to the rope, long rope, as we say. You see this figure. The buffalo or a camel, they comes to the when they comes near the well, the container goes down and it is filled up with the water, and they go away from the well. The filled container lift up, and a person standing near the well, they carry the container and easily drawn out the water. It is a tedious method or time consuming method, we can say, for the irrigation of a field, and it is also used for a small area of land for irrigation purpose. But in classical way of irrigation, this method called mode or pulley system used to irrigate in our agricultural practices. So here we discuss this. The next method is chain pump method. In this method, see this figure. Chain pump method is constructed in this way. In earlier days, for the irrigation purpose, here a belt is applying on two types of axles and some buckets which are connected to the belt. The one axle which is located here is connected to an handle. By rotating this handle, it rotates the overall the system in this way as shown in arrow, and here is a water reservoir or source available. When the bucket reaches to the source of water, it is filled up with the water and it rises up and before reaching to the upper level of axle or wheel, the filled water is drained down into a place from where this water used up for irrigation purpose. This is upper wheel and this is lower wheel. By combining this wheel, water is drained out from a source of water for irrigation purpose. It is also a time consuming and tedious method and it is applicable for a small area of land for their cultivation. These methods are used in our earlier agriculture practices, or we can say these are the history of agriculturing of irrigation for a cultivation of crop. The third one is dhekli. It is an arrangement of a log which is supported with a standing log as you see in this figure, and one end of the lever beam is tied up with a heavy stone and the other end which is near to the well is connected with a rope and other end of the rope is connected with a container. When we release the lever from one end, the container goes down into the well and it is filled up with the water. On releasing the rope, the weight attached to the end of shorter lever arm comes down and lifts the water-filled bucket out of the well. The farmer holds this bucket or the container and tilt it and pours out its water into the field. This is also a time consuming method and we use the Dhekli system only for the irrigation of a small area of land, or we can say that in previous years our agriculture production is lesser because of these simple methods, but nowadays we use some modern methods for irrigation. That's why our agriculture production is enhances day by day. The last one traditional method is Rahat system or lever system. In this method, water is drawn out from a well. As you see in this figure, there is a large wheel fixed on an axle. This shaft is called axle. Fixed on an axle above the mouth of the well, a long belt with many small metal pods. Many small metal pods is put over the circumference. This is circumference of big wheel which can move over the wheel when the wheel turns. The lower end of the long belt of pods dip in the water of the well. The big well is turned. It is turned by using a lever system. This is lever. By using a lever system, which is driven by the force of bullocks. As you've seen, these bullocks rotate in a circular way, and their rotation, if you see clearly or minutely here, this is connected in lever way, and when the boxes moves in circular way, it rotates the axle, and the buckets or pods connected to the larger wheel is rotates starts to rotate, and filled up with water, the lower end of the belt of pods deep in the water of the well. The big wheel is turned by using a lever system. When the bullocks move along, horizontal handle of the lever system is going round and round. The big wheel fixed mouth of the well starts rotating. And when the wheel rotates, the water filled up with water, it comes out of the well, and it is get emptied and then go down again into the well. This is also a traditional method which is used in earlier days for irrigation of plant crops. These all four methods, mode system, Dhekli system, chain pump system, and lever system, these are used in earlier days for the agriculture, and they require a lot of time for irrigation of small area of land. That's why we can say that we could irrigate a small area of land, and our agricultural production gets diminished in earlier days. But now in modern days, some modern methods we adopt which are used to irrigate for larger area of land with lesser time, and they are also economically beneficial for the irrigation. Here, two methods are mentioned in your syllabus. The first one is sprinkler system and drip system. As the name mentioned here, sprinkler, spring means it is used like a spray with the help of nozzle at the top of its joint. Now, see in detail. First of all, see this figure. See the sprinkler system of irrigation. In this system, a main pipeline is laid in the fields and perpendicular pipes are joined at the some fixed interval of distance. At the top of the pipe is connected some nozzles. When water from a tubule is allowed to flow in the main pipe under pressure with the help of a pump, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. Rotating nozzles. This water gets sprinkled or spraying around an area and it is more useful for the uneven land and also where there is lesser availability of water. We can easily irrigate in that areas. The sprinkler system is also very useful for sandy type of soil. The another system is drip system. See this figure. A drip system is adopted in this field. In drip system, first of all, there is a network of narrow tube. Means a narrow tube is let down in this figure in the field and a pipe is connected to the root of the each and every plant which are positioned in the field. When the water is released or pumped through the main pipe, it is reaches to the root of each and every plant and there is no wastage of water is used in this type of system. It is the best technique for watering the fruit plants, trees and gardens, but it is some advantages over the other system of irrigation. It provides water to plants drop by drop, so there is not wasted at all. And it also minimizes the use of water in agriculture. So drip system of irrigation is very useful in those regions where the availability of water is poor. In this lecture, we study a fourth method or basic practices of agricultural practices. On the basis of this topic, we do some homework. We will do some homework. The question number 70, which is what is irrigation and why is irrigation necessary? Question number 70 is your homework. What is irrigation? Why is irrigation necessary? The second question is name the various sources of irrigation in our country. Both the question you will do in your homework, and next topic I will discuss my next videos.